I also wanted to do a review of the Paulina Tarot while I was doing a review of the Joie de Vivre Tarot by the same artist, Paulina Cassidy. The Paulina Tarot is indeed the deck that I purchased first. It comes in a box like this. It's a little bit of a larger box than the Joie de Vivre deck. There's a depiction of the Fool on the back again, just like with the Joie de Vivre deck. It comes again with a little white book, Paulina Tarot. So we do have meanings again that are great. They're not quite as in-depth or personal as in the Joie de Vivre deck. I really feel like with this deck, she was exploring the basics of tarot. I know that she already had a foundation with tarot, but it was like artistically she did the basics. And then I'm hoping that she continues making more decks, but especially with the Joie de Vivre deck, you can tell that then she really, really seems to have personalized the fundamentals of tarot and really made it her own with the Joie de Vivre deck. However, I still think that the Paulina Tarot is a great deck. And it's very beautiful. And the artwork is still her own and clearly deeply thought out. I love the backings to the Paulina Tarot deck. In fact, it's one of my favorite backings to a deck of all time. This is what it looks like. This is a deck that uses reversals, as you can tell. It's so beautiful. And of course, this camera isn't really picking the color up very well. So I'm going to show you a few of my favorites. As I said in the Joie de Vivre review, the Paulina deck, the artwork is a little darker and a little more complex. So it can be a little more difficult to read with. It can be at times similar to the Shadowscapes Tarot that a lot of people have complaints about. As I said in the Shadowscapes Tarot deck review, as well as the Joie de Vivre deck review, I don't have a problem with that. I haven't found an issue. So for me, this deck is a gorgeous deck, and I do use it to read with. It isn't just in my room as part of my collection. Here are some of the cards that I enjoyed. The Two of Swords. You can tell it's darker. It's not quite as shiny, the backing and the card itself, as the Joie de Vivre, and I like the fact that it's not as shiny. They don't slide around as much. They tend to stay put much easier. Eight of Pentacles. I feel like this deck has more of a Victorian feel to it than the Joie de Vivre. This is the Hierophant. And I really like the depiction of the Hierophant in this one. I love when he's depicted as a tree in this nature source as opposed to a pope. Ace of Wands with the owl. I love owls. If there's an owl, I'm going to love it. Nine of Wands. I just love this card. It just really sticks out to me. The Hermit, again, with more of a feminine as opposed to masculine feel, and I really enjoy that. I love her depiction of strength. I think it's beautiful. The High Priestess, and I love this one. She almost has this like insect, cocoon, spidery feel to her. And of course there's the pomegranates and the scrolls, but and there's a bee with her as well, which I like. It's just so, I just love this one. This is actually, I saw this card online and it's the reason why I bought the Paulina deck. The Magician, and this is a feminine version, and I like that as well. Judgment, I normally am not fond of the artist depictions of the Judgment card, with a few notable exceptions, and this is one of those exceptions. I love that she's chosen to represent it. Like, you have the shape of infinity, you have the pregnancy with the new seed being born, and yet at the same time it's as if the plant's already blossomed. I mean, I really like this one. I love the way it looks, and it gives me a lot more to think about as opposed to the resurrection biblical scene in typical Rider-Waite-Smith decks. And then we have Justice. And again, this is another thing where I think she took the Justice card and she flipped the typical depiction around on its head and gave us something really gorgeous and layered and beautiful. And again, Dragonfly being here. She really uses animals and animal totems beautifully in all of her decks. So I highly recommend the Paulina deck. I really enjoy it. I find that, again, just like the Joie de Vivre deck, it does give very accurate readings. I think, however, it's a deck that you have to spend a little more time with to get it to speak to you. And that's certainly not a negative thing. I think it's a very positive thing. It's a deck you really need to get to know and spend a lot of time with, which is why it's been about a year since I've bought this deck, and it's taking me that long to do a review because I've been getting to know the deck. And I think that, kind of like the Victorian feel it has, you have to pay attention to the nuances and the little depictions in each portrait to see and really feel the messages that each of the cards have. So if you have the Paulina deck, let me know what you think of it. And thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.